Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel with a bit of a breaking news episode for you guys today, and it does concern Wales and Ryan Giggs. It's understood that he is about to step down as Wales manager. He obviously has this assault charge and his trial coming up, and he obviously feels like he wants to step down as Wales manager. That has to be said. But guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I thought I would do like a little World Cup video anyway because I thought, you know what, Wales, congratulations to them. You know, their first tournament since 1958, so 64 years ago, was the last time they made a World Cup. And obviously, this has been a bit of a decision where I think you'd have to say is it's one of those things as well. And I also have to say as well, this does not surprise me. I'm surprised at the timing of it. I'll say that now. I am surprised at the timing of it, but it does feel like it's the right decision because Ryan Giggs has been suspended since the 7th of November 2020. He has been suspended since then. Rob Page has done a fantastic job to get Wales to the World Cup. So I feel it would have been a very, very harsh on Rob Page had he not been able to take Wales to the World Cup. So I think it is the right decision. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't really surprise me in the slightest. Anyway, but this is what it says. This is what it says. Exclusive, and this is from Mike Keegan of Mail Plus. So not sure if they're very accurate or not. But it does go on to say Ryan Giggs is to step down as Wales manager. Sportsmail can disclose that the Manchester United legend, who temporarily left the role after being charged with assault on his ex-girlfriend, is to announce his decision in the coming days. Talks with FAW officials have been ongoing, with Giggs pushing to finalise the move following the country's qualification for the World Cup under interim boss Rob Page earlier this month. Sources close to the Welsh camp have disclosed that the 48-year-old, who strenuously denies the charges and who initially stepped down following the allegations of November 2020, has decided to bring closure to the situation following the delay of his court case. Giggs does not want his situation to act as a distraction as his country prepares for its first appearance in the World Cup final since 1958. He remains determined to clear his name, but given proceedings are now unlikely to take place until August, he feels that now is the time for clarification. Sources in Wales have said Giggs, who fully intends to manage again, is a close friend of caretaker boss Page, whose side qualified following a nail-biting victory in a playoff against Ukraine. The ex-United winner's trial was adjourned for close to 7 months to August 8th, following a backlog of cases at Manchester Crown Court. He is accused of causing his ex actual bodily harm at his home in Worsley, Greater Manchester in November 2020 and using coercive behaviour towards her. He's also been accused of assaulting his ex's sister. Giggs denies all the allegations. Following qualification, Page revealed his contract with Wales had been extended, but Giggs' pending move will remove any confusion over the situation. So, it's the right decision. It is the right decision. It should have been done a long, long time ago. You know, you are innocent until proven guilty, as you say. But the thing is, this should have been done a long, long time ago. When they knew that Rob Page was taking over, you know, it's just one of those things. Anyway, but let's say hello to a few people because I do know there are a lot of you in here. Kian is in. Genuinely surprised this didn't happen much sooner. Yeah, I'm the same. I am the same as well. Rennie, I'm good. Thank you, mate. Hope you are good as well. Sebastian, hello. Hello, Chris Welsh. I'm good. How are you, mate? Yep, and the guest as well. Big up Douglas. What a signing, Calvin Ramsey, who we both know is, yes, absolutely. Niall should have been dodged much earlier. You know, most of the comments in the chat is actually saying should have been done much earlier. It should have been done much earlier. Absolutely should have been done much earlier. Had a feeling for ages the Giggs would step down. Right decision for both parties. Page has done a brilliant job. Yeah, definitely. Oh no. Anyway, Ryan Giggs running down the wing. Sorry, D wing at one of Her Majesty's prisons. I like that. I like that, Dan. I hope you're good, by the way. Well done on your walk the other day. as well. I hope you're a good mate. So I thought he'd already had stepped down. Well, to be fair, Liz, I thought he had as well, but he was still contracted. He was still contracted to Wales, and it's a bit of a surprising, that he is anyway. I think there's Cop Council is in. Hello, Connor. Hope you're good. Obviously, being a Welshman, of course, I think this was common knowledge that Giggs was never going to be the manager of Wales after everything he did. Yeah, he doesn't really come across as a really nice guy either. Well, it comes a bit of a prat, to be honest with you. This was a case of jumping before it was pushed. 100%. 100%. Hello, everyone in the chat. They're a good in-nation team, Wales. Why do they need Giggs? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, indeed. Hey Dan, how are you? Nathan's in. Hello, Nathan. Nathan, if you are free, then I will give you the link to come on, because obviously I do want to hear from Wales supporters. How are you reacting to this news? I think most of you will be pretty happy because Rob Page has managed to get you to, a major competition, the World Cup in Qatar. So very, very well done to them. I'm good ending you well. He also denied bonking his brothers and misses. I trust him about as far as I could pee in a hurricane, says Kian. That's quite funny. Hiya, good people. Evening, Douglas. We was expecting Giggs to try and find a way to be gaffer for the World Cup in some sort of horrible way. I think there was a little bit of thought about that. In all honesty, but I don't think it was right. And this is the thing as well, because Rob Page did actually have Wales at the Euros. Like, everyone remembers this. Obviously, 2021 Euros. Well, obviously, it was done in 2021 because obviously Euro 2020 didn't happen in 2020 because of demonetized virus, of course. But Rob Page actually took Wales to, I think it was the round of 16. Actually, I think he was down the round of 16 in the Euros. So I think it's the right decision. I think it really is the right decision. Page is the man to manage Wales. He's perfect for them. Hi, John Conway. Thank you for tuning in. Should have been done when he was suspended in the first place. Yeah, I'm surprised it's happened this soon. I'm surprised it has happened this soon. Please hit a like as you enter the live stream chat. Absolutely. Yes, Connor. Hello, John. Quizzes. I'm aching blisters walking like I'm desperate to find a lavvy as soon as possible. Wow. Wow. How many days, Douglas the Lionheart? 12 days now, Liz. 12. Yep. Hello, Rich. The FAW threw this under the rug to make sure it didn't reflect or distract from what goes on the pitch. Yes, absolutely, indeed. And Nathan, if you are free, I will give you the link to come on and have your say. I did notice Rich is in the chat. Rich, if you want to come on and have your say, please do as well. Less than really close to sign Charles De from Club Brugge. I have seen that. I'll come on 100%. 2 seconds. Right, give me a minute. Right, let me get the StreamYard link. I thought I would just go live for you, Nathan. I'm just going to send you the link over Twitter as well. Where are you? NWM. Right, there we go. Right, there is the link sent, and I will also send Rich the link as well, because obviously he is a Welshman as well. So, Rich, if you are in the chat, then please do let me know, and I will get you on as well. But Nathan, I have sent you the link there as well. We moved on. Yes, you certainly have. It was going to happen eventually, wasn't it? I think there was a little bit of feeling that it was going to happen. I think it was a little bit of feeling that it was going to happen. Hi all. Hi Rich. Hello Rich. Oopsie daisy. Loads of comments in here. Innocent or guilty, Giggs is a dickhead. Well said, Liz. Well said. Absolutely agree with you. Hello, the brilliant Liz Golden. Yep. We do have a special guest.
How's it going?
Nathan.
Long time no see.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, all going well. There's no football to annoy me over the weekends as well. Hope you're all doing well as well. Looking forward to
I'm not doing too bad. Initial reaction?
Absolutely over the moon, quite frankly. And to be honest, in a way, a little bit disappointed with the FAW that this didn't happen about 2 years ago. But at least this happened now, which is the main thing. We keep that certainty. We just need to make sure that Rob Page is given that permanent contract now. But moving forward, I'm happy, to be honest. Gives us that continuity, and he's gone at last.
Yes. Yeah. I think there has been like this was obviously the big concern, I would say, is that when you made the World Cup, who was your manager going to be? Like, the minute we knew that you had qualified, I think we all kind of knew Rob Page was going to get a new contract, but there was just that slight sort of worry that Giggs was going to take the team. So it must be a big relief for him coming out and saying that he's going to step down.
100%. I mean, quite frankly, I disagree with it being his choice, to be honest. It should have been the FAWs making it, and they should have straight up, as soon as the allegations come out, yes, you do have all innocent till proven guilty, but for me, just before that Euro tournament and after the way we played in the Euros, it should have been bye-bye straight away. And even then, if everyone remembers when he first came in, I was not impressed at all. Yes, I was a big critic of Coleman towards his end of his tenure, but the second that Giggs came in, I was not happy, considering his past experience. And aside from his first game when we smashed Republic of Ireland 4-0, we were playing some absolutely dreadful football. You're talking 80% possession, just putting nothing forward. We were drawing stupid games as well. And to be honest, I think I said it in the group chat before, and I've said it a few times before as well. We would have not qualified for the World Cup under Ryan Giggs.
Wow, really?
100%.
That's very interesting. But Giggs, I mean, there is a comment there from Josh, a view from the stands. Giggs to ever get a job again? I suppose it just depends on what result comes out of his trial.
Yeah, I completely agree on that as well. And I think even if it does go the sour way and he does end up losing, then give it a few years, he might try and step back into management. But it is going to have to be down lower leagues. Welcoming Mr. Rich Sports. Hope you are doing well, of course.
Yes, good evening, Rich. Your initial reaction to this news?
I just heard it when you said recently, but I agree with Nathan saying, I think good Wales move on. I don't think we need to be associated with anything to do with Giggs. And the fact that we qualified, he's been not relevant for the team for a long time.
Yeah.
Then, like Nathan said, it should have happened a lot sooner. But
yeah,
I think the thing is, though, I wouldn't normally comment on things that go through the legal process because you don't want to talk too much or say too many things about that sort of thing. And I don't know, there might be reasons behind the scenes why they wouldn't have, got rid of him, because maybe, I don't know, he might have sued them or something because he hasn't actually been convicted yet. It's just one of those things that there might be reasons why it hasn't happened as quick as we'd like as fans. But overall, from a Welsh perspective, to keep the continuity, team spirit we've got there and everything going, keep it the same. I think 100% positive from a Welsh perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Right, just checked Ryan Giggs's
I was actually in the comments and replying to this and say I said no. The thing is, I could quite easily see him getting a job again, but there'll be a massive backlash. And I think some clubs, like I can't remember which, there was a club in Scotland that quite a famous author. She removed her backing from the club. The fans protested because of a player they
yes.
I think nowadays
Val McDermott.
That was it. I think nowadays, particularly with such a high-profile person, if he did get, I think it depends what happens in court. If it goes against him, then I think it's untouchable from a club point of view. Unless you want a massive backlash, people should stay clear.
Yeah, definitely. Nathan, I've just gone on and checked Ryan Giggs' managerial record as Wales. He managed 25 games, 12 wins, 5 draws, and 8 defeats, giving him a win percentage rate of 48%. Not impressive, is it?
No, for me, it's not impressive at all. But then again, you've got to take it from a Welsh point of view. I mean, the absolute heartbreak in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the dire days back at the Principality Stadium as well, around the Tosh days. And then, of course, you had the Gary Speed days, of course. But Even with Coleman, he did have a poor start, but that win percentage did ramp back up as well, and it was in a different timescale to that too. And moving on from it now as well, we are in a golden generation for Welsh football. You do have the likes of Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen, all starting to retire and move on now. And then you've had the likes of Ashley Williams and Sam Vokes moving on too. Robson Kanu, another one. But with these crop of players coming through, for me, with that record and the absolute terrible football at times he was playing, it's 100% the right move. And as a managerial record, it's not good. It's not good for that team at all. And some of the squads we've had to play as well. But that's all I can say about it. Really.
I mean, obviously, Nathan, I know you've never seen obviously Wales at a World Cup, but how does it feel as a country knowing you've got that monkey off your back? You're actually at a World Cup for the first time since 1958. It must feel a lot of probably relief, but probably more very, very happy at qualifying for a World Cup.
Absolutely, everything you can think of, considering everything we've been through since this 1958, the amount of finals we've bottled, Russia losing 1-0 back in 2004, the old man knows that one very well. The ones missing out for Mexico 86 as well, another big one. One I remember quite well, missing out for the 2018 World Cup when we lost to a James McLean shot against Northern Ireland, which Republic of Ireland. I mean, that was a terrible game. I remember after that, I remember I did get hounded for it, but I was Coleman out after that just because of the manner that we did lose that game in and how it ended in the end. But I do remember. But the thing is, the whole fan base is united now under the Red Wall, the Spirit of 58 fan groups. There's a massive identity with Welsh football now. You can see all the documentaries about it and everything. The togetherness when going abroad, the togetherness at the Cardiff City Stadium. It was starting to go back that way into gigs when they tried to get the football back into the Millennium Stadium. I never want to see a Wales game ever again at that terrible stadium. Cardiff City Stadium is now our home.
I mean, I always got the impression, Rich, that the Millennium Stadium was more of a rugby stadium, not a football stadium.
I think so, definitely. I was going to say the one that Nathan missed out on, the one about trying to beat Romania to qualify for, I think it must have been 94. But that was again probably what was considered a golden generation, where you had Neville Southall, you had Giggs again, then we had Hughes, Saunders, Rush, and a crazy team, really good team. But ran into a Romanian team, which actually ended up being really good as well. So I think actually I agree though. Wales United, you would look at the team actually, take out Bale, take out Ramsey, not the best quality individually, but they have, like Nathan said, great team, great coaches. And I thought it was really, really impressive that it's quite a difficult ask to beat Poland, beat Ukraine. These aren't bad teams. And I think Wales dominated Poland. Took the chance against Ukraine, and again, that's how Wales have done it. They take the chances. Gareth Bale with a moment of quality a few times, and they don't give in, do they? You look at them on paper and think they're not necessarily. I'm quite excited because the World Cup record. Now you look at the group; it's couldn't be in terms of like doing podcasts. It couldn't be worse because I've got. But also Americans as well. It's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, first time in a generation for fans.
Yeah, so obviously going into the tournament, Nathan, I know it's obviously way too early, but obviously squad selection, etc. But what are Wales's expectations? Is it to get out of the group first of all?
For me, if we get out of the group, it's a good tournament. Considering it's our first World Cup since 1958, yes, we're probably not going to get to the quarterfinals like we did in that tournament, of course, where we did get knocked out by a 17-year-old Pele scoring that last-minute goal, of course. And we had John Charles out injured as well. And a lot of people were saying if Charles hadn't been injured, then Wales would have probably won that World Cup. Call me deluded, but do your research. That's all I'll say to everyone.
It was pretty close, wasn't it? So Wales have been a bit unlucky over the years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But
I agree, though. I think that for me, that it's a shame the first game we play is against USA, and for me, the winner of that game has got a great chance. If it's a draw, then I think they're still both in the mix. But if you lose that, you can't really lose that game, can you?
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
we have been joined by someone who will be covering the World Cup as much as he can, Mr. Michael. Hope you are well. Hope you're feeling better as well. What is your reaction to this news?
Can I swear?
Yes.
Fucking finally. This guy, man. Well, Doug, you know, if you've been following the channel, how many times have I said give Robert Page the job? Get rid of this Ryan Giggs guy. How many months have I been saying this? And finally, Robert Page gets the credit he deserves. He fully deserves it. He fully deserves the job. Now Wales can just only concerned about the World Cup and maybe lose to the USA, because that would be nice for me. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way.
One plus point, though, I suppose, at least we won't be talking about it when it comes to the World Cup, and that could have been an issue. You know, when you have, I think it was the World Cup where the Spain manager resigned shortly before. You don't want that sort of issue going into the tournament.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. I mean, look, Wales, they're going to their first World Cup in, 64 years or something like that? I think they didn't need this sort of headache with Ryan Giggs, and I don't know why. Obviously, Nathan and Rich probably know better than me why he didn't get the job in a sooner time, since all these allegations have come to Ryan Giggs. But I mean, look at the job Robert Page has done. Nations League, Division A, they beat Finland on the way there. Goddamn Dan James, man. I was ripping him the whole game, and then he scores a 30-yard rocket out of nowhere.
He's a different player for Wales. I keep trying to tell people he's a different player for Wales.
I don't get it. But then, obviously, look at the World Cup playoffs against Austria, Bale's masterclass. And then, Ukraine got to dig deep and got the 1-0 result. So I think he fully deserves it. And look at the way they played in the Euros. A little bit sat back, but the counterattacking. I mean, against at least, Turkey. I mean, Ramsey and Bale completely
unbelievable
destroyed Turkey in that matchup. So full credit to Robert Page. He deserves it. Now it's all down to, and a very tough group, by the way. I think any of those teams can get through, even Iran and USA, with the way England are playing at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I know, it's quite open, isn't it? It's one of these games where, I don't know, would you take a draw first game? I think a defeat is going to be horrendous in that group. It's going to be
the first match, Wales versus USA.
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
I think so. Yeah. Let me just check the actual
I'm sure
World Cup
I was talking
fixtures.
with Connor, and I was thinking that's it's basically you just can't lose that game, so it's going to be a tough one.
It is. Yeah, it's USA first, then it's Iran at, I don't know why it's on, but it's on at 10 o'clock, and then on the 29th it's Wales England on a Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, you're right.
If I'm honest, considering the last time we played USA,
I'm just happy to be there.
I'm happy to be there too. We missed out on 2018 because of Trinidad and Tobago, so we're making our return.
Crikey! I remember that as well. I remember when Trinidad and Tobago were at the World Cup.
The memes,
no.
Glory.
The USA, all they had to do was beat Trinidad and Tobago in 2018, and we lost. I missed the World Cup.
That's a tough one to take. I think Wales can quite often point to tough teams like Germany, Holland, Italy, these sort of teams taking us down. But I would love to be in a group with Trinidad. I'd fancy my chances a bit more often.
Devil Rising says, England to struggle in Qatar, we all celebrate. Evening, James. Evening, James. Hope you're good. Hit the likes and subscribe, as they say.
Liz, Scotland, we're looking forward to.
I know. It was just, I kept saying this.
I'm kind of glad we didn't play, though. I think it might have been too tense.
I kept saying it. With your record in Cardiff, I think you would have probably beaten Scotland.
I mean, what is it? 1 loss in 20 games. Absolutely unbelievable there.
Yeah, you haven't lost a home game since 2018. That's ridiculous.
That's
a competitive game at least. And obviously in Cardiff, not in the Euros, of course, when they lost to Denmark.
I am gonna get a comment from Cian Dolan, because this just made me completely laugh. 64 years between World Cups. If Ireland follow that trajectory, I'll have to wait until 2056 to see Ireland at the World Cup. Ah, crap.
To be fair, Cian, you've got to generate some good players coming.
Yep.
I can't even speak. Got some really good players coming through now. Deadwood's going. Stephen Kenny, I'm really not convinced as him as manager, to be honest. But yeah, wait a few years, you'll be back in the World Cup like you were.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about Stephen Kenny either, to be honest with you.
To put it another way, the way FIFA are going with World Cups, getting more and more teams in, give it like another couple of World Cups, and maybe everyone's getting there. There's going to be so many teams. If they want to double it to 64, then maybe qualification will be quite straightforward.
Well, I think they're expanding it, aren't they, Michael?
Yeah,
they're expanding it. 48.
Europe only get 3 more spots.
Well, might be enough for what.
That should be
But do you guys think, obviously, Nathan, Rich, that this is Bale's last tournament for Wales?
I think so.
Don't know.
When I was looking at him against Poland, he's phenomenal. But I think over the course of a season for club football, I don't think he's got that many games in him to be an attractive player for club football. But you give him like a handful of games for Wales, and you can see that he's absolutely phenomenal. So I think I would probably say yes, but you never know, do you? He might be like
Euros is only 2 years away.
Yeah, it is only 2 years away. He's not as old as people think either.
He's only 32.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm split on it because I think, yes, definitely it's his last World Cup, but who's this? Sorry, guys, phone's going. Yeah, we'll just speak through that. So, yeah, I think he might last out to another Euros, but it depends if he falls back in love with football or not, because we saw a lot of the saga that he had at Real Madrid. The amount of disrespect he got from their fans was absolutely disgusting. And can't even switch that thing off. Ignore me, guys. But I really don't know. I really don't know. And I think it massively depends on his next move. But, I mean, we can sort of tell what that's going to be. But we're gonna keep low shoulders on that at the moment, and we could, well, who knows about Aaron Ramsey too, because Joe Allen definitely his last tournament for me. Aaron Ramsey, don't know. I think he might have another few years left in him, but it ultimately depends on where he goes next. But who knows?
You can tell he loves playing for Wales, so I think if he can, and it depends if he gets decent enough football in the next couple of years and is still playing at that level, then I think what's quite positive is that considering he's a superstar. And Wales have had a few of those in the past. He does actually seem to elevate the rest of the team, and he doesn't seem to play with an ego. 100%. It seems to like you couldn't really ask for better team spirit at Wales's level. You kind of need that because if you don't have any divisions like say as an example like Holland where they don't necessarily fall out a lot. So I think I'd like to see him last a bit longer because to be honest, I grew up hoping we'd qualify for a tournament. And when we actually qualified for Euros finally, I was just so happy. Now we've actually been spoiled having a few runs. And actually we do quite well. We get out the group stage and do okay. So you never know in the World Cup. We need USA to not turn up, hopefully.
I've actually just noticed what your last game is. It's actually Wales-England, the final game. Now, wasn't it the first game at Euros 2016, I think?
Second.
Yeah, it was
the middle game, yeah.
Second.
Yep.
Well, we took the lead, didn't we? And then messed up.
Joe Hart doesn't know how to read a free kick.
Offside goal, wasn't there, by Jamie Vardy, which no one seems to.
I think that hit a Welsh player, but then Sturridge doing a Sturridge and scored the winning goal.
Yeah, Daniel Sturridge and Jamie Vardy, probably two of the most underrated players at that stage, scoring the 2 goals for England. But yeah, that Gareth Bale free kick. I actually remember watching that game, and I actually, believe it or not, because obviously being a Scotsman, you don't want England to do well. But I think I cheered the house down when that Bale free kick went in.
So did I.
I don't have the stats, but in terms of like free kicks and how many you score as a percentage, Gareth Bale must be up there because every time I'm watching in the Euros or qualifying matches. He seems to score almost as many free kicks as he misses. It must be pretty high percentage because you see others like Ronaldo scores quite a few, but he misses quite a few. I don't know what the stats are. Oh, Statman, maybe he has those sort of stats. But
yeah, I think I've seen about 3 or 4 Bale free kicks live. I mean, I've seen 2 in this calendar year anyway, but before I think I saw one in 2011-12, and then one about 2016. In that campaign for the Euros, but unbelievable. He's
just a phenomenal player, and he is your big game player as well. But obviously, I look at the Wales the Wales squad, and there's a lot of good players coming through. Neco Williams, of course, so
brilliant.
Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson. I don't think anyone has to say that as well. I think Brennan Johnson is absolutely fantastic, and I think as well. You look at like obviously Joe Allen as well, but you you have got a very good up and coming squad coming through. And yes, I know it's obviously, you've got the experience of obviously, Wayne Hennessy, but like look at the team like Ethan Ampadu, Ben Davis, Harry Wilson, Joe Allen, Rabbi Batondo, Joe Roden, like even Ben Woodburn on Once in the Blue Moon, Johnny Williams. Like you've got some very, very good players coming through. And I think if you do well at this World Cup, you could easily go through the round of 16 and then see what happens after that. Because obviously, you'll get like a Netherlands or a Senegal potentially in the Group A.
Again.
I wouldn't mind it considering our last few performances. Just make sure we park the bus and put them all on the line. If we do go ahead, or just draw at least.
Senegal will be interesting though. I think I've just watched us play Holland too many times, and that is a score I don't want to remember from the 90s.
That's like when you said to me, Rich, I hate playing Belgium.
We always play Belgium, don't we?
Every year.
Nathan, it's just this thing. We play Belgium every year. You go, come on, they're ranked like top 3 in the world all the time. And I know they don't win anything, but it's still a very difficult game.
Yeah, they haven't beaten us at home in 12 years. And every time I've seen them live as well, because I think, 5 times I think I've seen them at home.
Someone on Bluebird comments said about Wales, usually supporting Wales equals pain. And I was going to say, I know. That's why I'm like pleasantly surprised the last sort of 5-6 years.
We have a Scotsman here, that equals pain. We have Welsh, that equals pain. And I'm a Finnish person, that equals pain. We all feel the pain when watching international football.
I know the thing is though, Wales, when they've got to tournaments, we've actually done pretty well. Because I was like Nathan saying, if we get through the group stage, it's a good tournament. And then the game against Belgium where we beat them, was it 3-1 in the end? Was probably the greatest game I've ever seen Wales play. I don't think it was Belgium playing poorly. Wales's goals were fantastic. And I was just like, I was watching it just thinking, is this real? I'm actually watching Wales because I've watched so many crap performances.
Yeah.
Doug,
but
no,
I think
Doug, I have a question for you. You're the neutral one here. Obviously, England should go through, right? They should go through.
They should.
So who's going to be the second one, in your opinion, at this moment? Because it could change, but I'm just asking you at this moment.
I'll be honest, I think the US are planning for the next World Cup. That's my gut feeling. So I'm going to go Wales to finish.
So I think, Michael,
place.
Both our teams need to park the bus and just hope that we can get England to have 3 draws in that
we can't
group.
even do that. Rich, we can't even park the bus. We can't even play football. We don't have a striker. We don't even know what our number 1 goalkeeper is.
I've heard this before, though. Teams that play Wales.
I know. But the USA have a lot of problems. Obviously, we have a talented team. No, I think in the midfield we completely dominate Wales in the midfield. In my opinion, at least.
I think the thing is from like a neutral, in terms of watching American sport, is America's got such amazing infrastructure for sport across the college system, and also the fact that football, there's so many more avenues to play. If you make it in football, you're not limited to like the NFL. If you're American football, you're not limited to the NBA. You've got loads of top flight leagues across Europe and the world where you can get paid a huge amount of money. I'm surprised there's not more uptake for football in the USA.
Rich, in the USA, football is an elite sport. Only the rich people basically pay it. You have to pay a lot of money to play sport compared to Europe or South America, where it's very cheap compared to all the other sports. So it's a very elitist sport, and that's kind of the problem. We don't.
Okay,
that's the USA don't really target the, shall we say, middle class, lower class families, and get people
for
involved
me as well. Just jumping into that, I think that the way that it works, like their youth systems and stuff, isn't exactly sort of the thing. Like, say for example, over here, you join your local football club, you then rise up through, you maybe get scouted into, say for example, I know a Cardiff City youth team, and then over time you work it up through the under 18s, 21s, then try and break through into the first team and do a few loans down the lower divisions. In the US, from what I sort of see it, is you join your local club, but then when you get to your middle schools, your high schools, you play for the school team, and then it sort of doesn't evolve from there. You don't really get scouted by any of these major teams unless you go and play for one part-time, of course, or even if you do something like LA Galaxy, and then it's all straight onto college, and then you get drafted into the league system. But aside from that, the development isn't just consistent throughout. And because you're leaving college at like 21, 22, for example, you miss out on those key years where a lot of these players break into the first team. So between 17 and 21 years old. I mean, by the time you're at that age, you should already be an established first-team player unless you're still breaking through on loan. Because that's
you'd be
when
scouted way before then in the UK. I guess that's probably it's a different way of looking at it, isn't it? In terms of how they. It's just
exactly.
I ask Connor quite frequently. I'm just interested in how the game is perceived in America, because obviously we look at the way the NBA and NFL's run, and everything seems to be. I talked to a couple of friends that have they did sort of placements in university at American universities for like a year, and they were telling me about the college. Like one of my friends got into ice hockey because he said it's just amazing facilities, and just go and watch games. So you have like universities having 50,000-60,000 people watching. So I just think
Well,
I must say, Mike, Greg Berhalter is
no, you got the name wrong. Greg Vibes Berhalter.
It's quite safe to say he's kind of divided the US popularity. It has to be said. If you really do badly at this World Cup, could you see him getting the boot?
I mean, if we get 1 point in those 3 games, he's gone, and I hope he's gone. What manager in the world, not even Jose could do this, took a selfie during the game?
Embarrassing.
Selfie during the game. I'm sorry. As soon as I saw that, I saw cockiness. And bear in mind, we were 3-0 up in the game, of course. It was minus 20 Celsius at the game. Minus 20 Celsius.
Minus 20? Wow.
Because it was played in Minnesota during, I think it was November or February or something like that. But we just used the climate to our advantage. But I don't get it with Greg Berhalter. Some games it looks really good, like I said, and then some look really poor. He just goes with the flow. That's why I call him vibes. He doesn't prepare his teams well enough in harsh conditions. And that's why when we go to the World Cup and we face a good manager, Robert Page, a good manager in Skokic at Iran, well, a somewhat decent manager in Gareth Southgate. I'll give him decent because he's at least done well in the last World Cups. But I don't trust this manager. I trust the players, and I trust that they can execute their ideas. But the manager is just a big question mark. John Brooks is one of our best defenders. He has not been called up in 7 months, 8 months now, because they've had a dispute with each other between John Brooks. We can't even play Chris Richards, our best center back. We don't even play our best players in certain positions. We give Ricardo Pepi, who is a young striker at Augsburg, maybe 1 or 2 games, and then he drops him. You're just destroying the confidence of these young players. I don't get it from Greg, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna wait to the World Cup. I'm gonna be patient, but if it goes terribly, out of here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to even ask you, does he know his best team? Because obviously you've just answered the question.
we know our midfield, and we know our 2 wide players.
Yeah.
Well, because our midfield can be Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, or Brendan Aronson, or Yunus Musa. I mean, that's a good midfield. Obviously, then we have Christian Pulisic, and then Timothy Weah. We don't know our striker, and we don't know our goalkeeper. That's our biggest problems. We don't know those 2 positions at all. Because Zach Steffen keeps doing mistakes. Then Ethan Horvath just made a mistake. I don't know.
Horvath's been so inconsistent at Forest as well. What I've seen
he had a good spell for I think 6 or 7 games, and then kind of faded off. And then Samba came back and was excellent. But I mean, just our goalkeepers. There's no confidence. There's not one player takes it by the bulls of the horn and says, "This is my position." Nobody's doing that. Why can't we have a goalkeeper like Hennessy, who was amazing against Ukraine? I would say he was the reason why Wales qualified. I mean, some
100%.
of the save he made on Dovbyk in the second half, I mean, I have no clue. Hennessy probably pulled all the muscles after that save because he doesn't play anymore pretty much. So, look, it is going to be tough for the USA, but I like our chances, especially with the way England are going.
Yes, I think we could potentially see a scenario where it could be USA and Wales going through, and England could potentially fall into 3rd place. That would be amazing.
That would be my World Cup. I could care less about winning.
But guys, I'm gonna leave it there. But thank you very much for the 3 of you for coming on. Nathan, tell people where they can find you.
I believe NWM. You know the one. Check out a few of my vlogs, aka rants from this season, if you really want to. Cardiff content will be returning very soon. And let's hope we have a certain Gareth Bale joining us, so I can get some. So we can get back up there. But massive season ahead of us. We've got a new team basically, so You can't ask for more than
Yeah,
that.
I have seen that. Eight new signings. That is going to be very, very interesting to see that
as well.
Yeah,
Really?
Rich, thank you very much for jumping on. Tell people where they can find you.
I just say to Nathan, I wish we signed a player, let alone eight. It'd be nice to get any sort of semblance of a new team or just some new players.
You didn't release your whole squad pretty much, so.
I hear rumors of a rebuild, but I'm not putting out any videos until someone signs the dotted line because I'm just making myself angry. So I'm just going to leave it there. Check out Rich Sports. It's Manchester United biased-based Premier League content, but all fans are welcome, and it's good to have a banter. So, and also nice to meet you, Michael. Good to speak to you again, Nathan.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers, Doug, for the invite. I didn't actually know until you posted a comment on my stream about this going on. So.
Not a problem. I thought it
nice. I always tell people I'm not available at this time, and 99% of the time I'm not available. So people are watching it, and I said I can't do it. It's because Doug just picked the perfect time. There was no one in the room, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know where everyone's gone," but I was like, "Yeah, send me the link." So cheers, Doug.
No, not a problem. And Michael, thank you very much for jumping on. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at YouTube, Michael Talks Football. Very simple. I actually just released my early World Cup predictions today. Predicted all the groups. And I had Wales finishing above the USA at this moment because I don't trust it.
Hopefully
Matt as well. Matt saying Southgate over Page. Matt, we need to talk.
Lunatic.
We need to talk. Yeah. You're going crazy.
And I think on that note, we'll end there. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in. If you missed this, then please watch it on the playback. And let me know your thoughts about Ryan Giggs stepping down as Wales manager. But enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Take care.
Cheers.